Since we're talking method now rather than purpose and end state, let's go to two ends of the spectrum. I'm not sure if you remember years back when people would complain that you'd get your children 1 hour's worth of church on a Sunday and for the rest of the week they're being influenced by everybody but you. Right. The way to get into anybody's head is through storytelling, we know that. Yeah. And the modern storytelling medium is the movie. Does anyone know how the funding model for Hollywood has changed over the last 2, 3, 4 decades? In the old days, for those who aren't aware, studio chief would want to make money. So he gets a big name star, a great script, a tremendous director, and risks millions of dollars to produce a film. Now, the only way he makes his money is if people buy tickets, sit in a seat and watch. So he had to meet the needs of the audience. That is no longer the case. Guess who funds most of Hollywood's films these days? Anyone? China. Anybody else?
CIA.
Arab oil money.
And CIA don't get them.
And they get their money up front. So studio chief here gets $150 million to make a movie. Now he doesn't care if it sells one ticket because he's made his money, so have the stars. Everybody's happy. If you want to see what your kids and grandkids are being, what's being pumped into their heads, have a look at the movies.
And the games.
Now there are trends, I don't have time to go into it for you now, but if you watch the theme of every film that's coming out, that's what's going to hit your kids' heads. It bypasses the prefrontal cortex and goes straight to the back. It passes any sense of judgment because they willingly suspend their disbelief and believe everything that's said to them. That's the reality. That's why, in terms of winning, and the professor is correct, we don't know how to fight the war because we don't have the right weapons. We need to use film. Now, family-oriented films outgross everything else by a large margin every year and have done for years. And yet they don't make them. Why? Because family-oriented films reinforce that which we protect. The nuclear family, the Christian faith, nationalism. The movies they are producing are undermining our kids every minute of every day, and there's nothing we can do until we start fighting fire with fire. We need to start telling better stories. And we can tell stories about everybody. I can still remember the story my father told me about Socrates. And Socrates was a brave soldier. Who knew that? Brave soldier. Fought heroically. Just a few. Now that's a compelling story to tell a young man, because young men respond to that. He was also very bright. And he'd be wandering down the street, and being a deep thinker, he'd be pondering. And when he reached an intractable problem, he would just stop where he was, freeze, for 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes at a time. And the local kids knew this, so they'd throw rocks at him to try to distract him. Wouldn't budge. Then after a few minutes, he'd go, "Oh, of course," and keep walking. So he's telling a story. Now, I love ideas. Ross loves ideas. Most people in this room will love ideas, but ideas are vague, difficult to comprehend and grasp. Stories we tell have to be about people. It's visceral. That's why footballers are so admired, because it's physical. The crunch is real. We relate to that. To relate to something like freedom of speech is a vague and woolly concept which doesn't grab me. But watching 220 kilo men run at each other, I can relate to that. So we have to tell our stories in an intelligent way. Tell the story of the person, and the ideas bypass the prefrontal cortex and go straight to the back. That's point one. So that's one way to start fighting. There are many ways we have to fight. That's one. So if anybody has a connection in the Ramsey Centre for Western Civilization, tell them to bypass the universities and go make movies. Point number two, and I've spoken to our young man out the back there from the City University Conservatives, and I've told him, next time you have an event and you suspect that the leftist students are going to turn up and chant, give me a call, because I have a sizable group of men about my size and weight and professional ability, and we're going to turn up. And we're going to have white t-shirts, because the good guys always wear white. And our job is to protect whoever's speaking and those who wish to listen to that speech. And that's what we're going going to do, we're going to turn up and we're going to start pushing back. Now, once again, I'll brief my men. We don't throw the first punch. We'll take the first punch. But we'll finish it. And we'll record it and we'll send it on to outsiders and Ross can play it. But that's the way we have to start fighting back. If we don't fight back and the professor is dead right, we will lose. And we have to be smart and we have to be hard. We have to be both.